I'm Kate Bellingham and I am a part-time postgraduate researcher in the Centre for Engineering Education. What I'm looking at is gender balance, or more to the point, gender imbalance in engineering education, particularly the difference in the percentage of women on courses between different universities. At the moment, I've been looking at existing data, the data that's available through government statistical agencies, and finding out that there are a higher percentage of women at what would be considered the research-led universities. And also there seems to be a lower percentage of women at the universities where more people come in with what you might call non-traditional qualifications. However, I've split the university up into 7 different groups, and there is a trend of different things going on with the groups, but there's also a great deal of difference within each group. And I want to know why. Why does one university that appears to have a similar mission and size and background to another university have a very different percentage of women on their engineering courses? Throughout my career, I've never really made an issue about being a woman in engineering. When I first started out with the BBC as a trainee electronic engineer, on the actual initial introduction course I was on, there were 2 women out of 7 students. And then I went and worked at Broadcasting House, and there were 3 of us in total then, out of over 100. And the reality is, you stick out. You're clearly different. People know who you are. So in some ways, that's great, because you've got an initial introduction. You hope that people see you in a positive light. However, I did find that if anything was a bit amiss, then people know who you are. It works both ways. So in terms of experience, definitely it's different. Also, for me personally, I haven't stayed in engineering. I've worked as a secondary school maths and physics teacher. I've been a TV and radio presenter. I've worked on the government's national STEM programme, so I've done lots of different things. I think now it's actually what makes a difference is the experiences I've had because of my career, rather than specifically that I'm a woman. However, it does mean, in terms of the work that I'm now doing, looking at gender balance, I can talk from a personal perspective because of my experience. The term allies for women in STEM is quite a new one, and particularly men as allies is quite a new idea. I think there is a danger of thinking that is something that only certain people need to be involved with. It is not. It is everybody's issue. It is about society. Everybody needs to be allies. We have a legacy of people's stereotypical assumptions. And it's quite hard to change those. I mean, assumptions are really useful things. If I hear a particular sound and I think that's a car coming, I'm not going to step in the road. My brain has taught me that. The question for us is, how do we encourage people to unlearn those stereotypical assumptions? The first step is to recognise them. It's a hard thing to do, but every little helps.